6% of managers cite dealing with people as the hardest part of their job. Communicating with people, dealing with employees, communicating with employees, holding them accountable. So really important when you're doing the hiring process, right? You want to really talk about your team this way, and you want to think about your goals this way, right? It's not my goals, it's the company goals. It's my goals plus the company goals. You want to share them and align with them, win together, right? So you want to know what their goals are and show them how it aligns with your goals. What I do with servers all the time, I'll say like, big problem with servers, right? Oh, this is a stepping stone job, right? This is not my final destination, so I don't have full buy-in. Or you have a seasonal staff, whatever it is. What I tell servers is this. I always ask them, I go, what do you want to do? What is your goal? Oh, I want to be an accountant. Awesome. Can I ask you a question? If you want to be an accountant, what are you looking for? Are you looking to make like the minimum amount an accountant makes? Are you trying to make the most money as an accountant? What's your goal? Oh, I want to make the most money as an accountant. Oh, okay, awesome. Well, what do you think you'd have to do to get there, to make the most money? Work hard, study hard? Yes. I'm going to tell you a really honest truth right now. Working hard work is a muscle. You build it. You don't just decide you want to work hard. You build it over time. The first time I took a supervising shift, I had a migraine because it was so hard. After a month, 2 months, I could do it in my sleep, right? I built that muscle. You keep building that muscle. That's why some people are like, owners here, right? I work 18, 20 hours, right, a day, right? I get 4 hours of sleep. How do you do it? Practice. I've been doing it a long time. Do it after a while, it starts to seem normal. Seems easy. Seems like the run. That's what hard work is. If you're serious about being an accountant and making money, I'm going to tell you this right now. And this is really important for you to understand. You're telling your server this. You have to develop yourself now. Every day you walk into this door, or whatever job you take after this, you're building yourself up or building yourself down. You're building good habits or building bad habits. Completely up to you. But you're doing it one way or another. You can do all the mental gymnastics you want. Tell yourself that this is just a part-time job. Tell yourself that this job doesn't matter, but it does because it's not about this job. It's about you. I want you to have infinite mindset thinking because there's something much bigger at play. You're building yourself down, committing yourself to a paycheck-to-paycheck mentality when you say to yourself, this is just a job. This is not just a job. This is about you building yourself up. Now, what I want to do is give you the tools to build yourself up. I'll teach you things you've never learned before, and I'll get you ready for that accounting position because I can guarantee you this. When you go into that accounting job, you're going to be competing with people that have been working hard their whole lives, that have this mentality, that had a serving job, but they busted their ass every single day because they were trying to be the best in the room, so that way they can be the best in the room when they're an accountant. And you're going to be competing with them. Are you going to be prepared for that? Do you want to be prepared for that? Because it starts here with you right now. I'm here to support you and get you on that path too, so you're as successful as humanly possible. Are you willing to make that commitment with me? Yeah, okay, awesome. Is everyone going to respond to that? No. But the people that will, if you got a 20% increase in productivity from people in your business, that's a huge jump of commitment and buy-in. So that's why it's important to make sure your goals, their goals, and the company goals align, right? Because they understand they're not just working for a paycheck, and they're working for something bigger, and they're willing to commit with you and fight with you on that, you're going to get ultimate buy-in. And that's what I want you guys to focus on. Because you guys have a goal, we have aligned goals, right? But when you're talking to a server and a hostess who have no buy-in, a busser, when I'm talking to them, it's a lot more difficult. But that message always resonates with them, right? Because all of a sudden you're connecting your goals with their goals. All right, daily masterminds. This is the secret sauce. This is your secret weapon. Again, this is what's going to get you ahead of your competition. I talk to restaurants all the time. You guys do daily pre-shifts? Yeah, we do. Do you do them consistently? We try to do them consistently. Okay, fail. Right away, fail. You're missing your biggest secret weapon. This is how you do continuous ongoing training. This is what it looks like. This is how you keep them motivated. This is how you keep them on game. And what I recommend is that you have a daily mastermind. I call it a mastermind, a daily mastermind with every employee every day. No employee gets past it. And if you have staggered in times, what I would do as a manager, I spend 4 minutes with each in time. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. We're having our own daily mastermind. And the reason for that is because I want their full attention. I don't want them to have a table to worry about. I don't want to have them to run food. I don't want them to be distracted. I want their full attention. And they're all standing up. No one's doing side work. There's absolutely no phones, and we're interacting. I'm going to ask you a question. When's the last time you got to win with a guest? When's the last time you got to win with a guest? What do you do when you drop off food and you passion sell? Sell me the salmon right now, please. Everyone's on. Now when they walk into that pre-shift, it's not just like I'm going to stand there until they stop talking and I'm going to smile really big. They're going to call me. Preston's going to call me, so I better be prepared. I don't want to look stupid. So I'm laser focused on what he's saying. I also, like we talked about in meetings, I make it functional. right? Pull out all the stuff that doesn't need to be said in that pre-shift. Head counts, big parties, 86 items. That can go on a piece of paper in the back of the restaurant that they're required to read, and it's their job to read. And if they don't do it, there's accountability there. What we're going to do is training. What we're going to do is motivation. What we're going to do is reinforcements. That's what we're doing in these daily masterminds. So if you guys are serious about it, you have to do it. Must be high energy, must be consistent. Again, 80-20, right? Oh, well, I can't do it. My managers aren't bought in. My manager won't do it. My manager doesn't have that kind of energy. You can train them to have the energy. You can train them. How are you going to train them? Lead by example. Be in the pre-shift. Watch them, right? Jump into pre-shifts and watch them do it. Got to have energy. You got to talk a little bit loud. Put a little bit of bass in your tone. Right? Get excited. Get them motivated. Eye contact. Interacting. You have to do it though. This is part of the job. I'm requiring it. Do you understand that? You have to break out of that shell. Who here has heard of the lobster theory? When a lobster has to shed its shell, the way it knows is because it gets really uncomfortable in its shell because it's growing. So it goes underneath a little dark cave in the ocean, sheds its shell where it's safe, and then it has a new one. The point of that is that when the lobster knows it's growing, it gets uncomfortable. When you're growing, you're getting uncomfortable. When you walk into this room with a bunch of other restaurant owners, little uncomfortability, right? No one's like, oh, I'm super comfortable right now. Little uncomfortability, new faces, new area, but you're here. And that's growth. You're growing. When you're talking to your employees, reinforcing these things, saying things you're not normally saying, enforcing things you're not normally enforcing, that's you growing as an owner. And then you're going to see your leadership team grow too, because you're going to make sure that they're going to do the things that they don't want to do or they're not comfortable doing. Why? What do you think the top 3 reasons people leave a restaurant or leave a job? Number 1, leadership. Number 2, poor training. Number 3, lack of growth. Good job. Lack of growth. Lack of growth. That's why I tell people, we can't find good people. We can't keep good people. Does everyone agree that you should know your numbers in your business? Does everyone know their numbers in their business? Okay, I appreciate that. That's the truth. But it's amazing because it's literally controlling your money. You can see where your money's going when you can control it, when you have those optics. That's the most important thing. Where is my money going and how can I make sure it goes to the right places or better places? How can I make sure it's not getting wasted? How can I protect my money? Well, one thing you should do is accounting on employee turnover. How much does it cost me to get a new server? How much does it cost me to train a new manager? How much does it cost me to train a new GM? Now, how many GMs, managers, and servers have I gone through in the last year? Add that up. Holy crap. I could have bought a new car, right? My house payments would have been made this year. Just from those 3 things alone. I always ask people, if you can dial in leadership, if you can dial in training, if you can dial in growth, your employee turnover rate plummets dramatically. But you have to get those 3 things down. Growth is the hardest one in my opinion. But to make people feel grow, you have to coach them. And with that, they feel growth. With that, they get better at things you ask them to do. Things, I can't do that shit. Yeah, there's no way. I don't know how to do that. All of a sudden, they're mastering it. Hey, wait a minute. I can do things I didn't realize I could do just by applying myself. They're growing. They feel more accomplished. That's how Chick-fil-A keeps their employees. Chick-fil-A does not pay. They do pay over average, not by much. Look at it. What do they do? Proper leadership, making sure their staff feels growth, even if they're a 16-year-old kid. I'm going to make you feel growth. Hospitality mindset. How do I teach hospitality mindset? A lot of times the problem is people are like, I use an iceberg, right? They always try to teach hospitality right here instead of trying to understand that hospitality comes from here. So a lot of times it's like, hey, treat them like they're your friends and family. Treat them like they're your loved one. Treat them like a grandma. Treat them like they're your best friend. Treat them like they're at your home. All these ideas and throwing these things out and try and do this and try and do that. Really, we have to create that mindset. And just like I told you today when I went over that example where I'm like, hey, if you want to be the best accountant, here's what you need to do, right? We want to tether hospitality with their beliefs. And that's really important. This is high level stuff, but it works. I've never worked with a single restaurant or talked to a single restaurant owner who said, we have hospitality dialed in. All of our staff gets it. There's very few restaurants that have it, so it takes this type of work. So hospitality is for everyone. I hate that analogy, like you either have it or you don't. I don't believe that. I believe some people are better at it than others, but hospitality is innate in everyone. I'm going to ask you guys a question. If you guys are dating someone and they're coming to your house for the first time and you're cooking them dinner, what are you going to do? Clean your house. What else? Set the table. What else, guys? Light a candle. If your apartment just has this odor, yes, light a candle.
Greet him with a smile.
Greet him with a smile. Guys, that's all the things you're going to do. Ladies, are you going to have a hairbrush with a bunch of hair in it sitting on the counter of your bathroom? We're going to start doing things we don't normally do, and only for one reason, right? We want them to have the best experience. That's it. I just want to make sure they have the best experience. I want to make sure they leave happy. I want to wow them. That's why I'm doing it. So everyone has hospitality innately. It's us unlocking it in our employees, and that's what it's all about. If you can learn to be hospitable naturally, then you're going to be able to unlock things in your personal life too, because it's a skill set, and it's something that makes you better. And hospitality is selfless. That's what we want to sell, right? It's selfless. And we want to teach unconditional hospitality. That's a part of our culture. That's what we talk about when we hire people, and that's also what we talk about when we're training people. And that's what we're doing on the floor. It is selfless, meaning unconditional. Does anybody know what unconditional means? You do it because you love them. You're not expecting anything in return. If a mom loves her child unconditionally, that child doesn't have to grow up to be a certain thing. That child can get in trouble. That child doesn't have to give them money. All they have to do is exist, and that mother's going to love that child unconditionally. It's unconditional. We have to give unconditional hospitality. We have to go and teach our staff. We have to train them to say it doesn't matter if they're being nice. It doesn't matter if they give you a tip. It doesn't matter if they're acting a certain way. It doesn't matter if they're complaining about the food. We're giving them hospitality no matter what. Do you think that we should train our staff to only give hospitality to the guest? Who else can we give hospitality to? Each other, our team, the leadership, the ownership, right? We should be giving hospitality to everyone. That means that I'm going to be unconditionally hospitable to my coworker no matter what. If they decide to be lazy or not run my drinks when I ran their drinks, or they don't pick up a shift when I picked up their shift, it doesn't matter. My job is to come in as a professional and give unconditional hospitality to the guest, unconditional hospitality to my coworkers, and unconditional hospitality to my leadership team. These things are important. If you can instill this in your staff, then you're going to be able to do it. Now, this is a big undertaking you're probably thinking, and I want to recommend thinking about 80-20. 80-20, 80-20. This is all psychological. You can do this. And then you have to break it down to the 10 cents, right? 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. If you're trying to sell them an idea that's $13,000, they're going to be like, yo, whoa, wait, what the heck are you talking? No, what is this unconditional? What? But if we break it down 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents, it becomes easier, right? If you go up to one of your employees, Trinity, and say, I'm going to have you do 18 food orders from 18 different vendors tomorrow, are you ready? They're going to be like, no, I'm not ready. But if you say, I have one vendor I'm going to do, here's how you do it. Can you start that tomorrow? I think I could do that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I'm going to walk you through that process as well. That's what we want to do with unconditional hospitality. We want to give them the infinite mindset. We want to excite them. This is exciting. You're about to develop yourself. You're going on a journey for yourself. I don't want you to think about the paycheck you're going to make. I want to think about the money you're going to make 10 years from now, 5 years from now. I want you to look back and say, Preston was the best leader I've ever worked with. This company was the most impactful. I've worked with a lot of business owners who don't work in the restaurant industry who say, one of my best jobs I ever had was at this restaurant with this person doing this because they inspired me so much. Tyler Florence, we worked with him. It was amazing. I got to talk to him a lot. And I asked him what his first job was. A dishwasher. Does anybody know who Tyler Florence is? Yeah, celebrity chef. He owns a bunch of restaurants, super successful, about as successful as you can be as a chef, right? He made it to the top, the pinnacle. I said, your first job as a dishwasher, what was your attitude like when you were a dishwasher? And he goes, I was the best freaking dishwasher. I was the best dishwasher. I had a system to be the fastest dishwasher. Servers would walk in, I'd meet them halfway. I'd meet them at the door. I was the hardest working dishwasher they ever had till this day. That's how he became successful. Now, if he said, this is just a job, I'm above this, dude. What are you talking about? Man, I'm a chef. This is just passing time. I'm going to do whatever. If they let me go, good luck. But it's that mentality of being the best that got him to where he's at. Because he was the best no matter what he did. I want everyone in the room to have that mentality. And I want you to give that mentality to your staff by talking to them about these things, by motivating them. So on page 19, I want you to fill this out. What's the top of the iceberg for you? What do you see yourself doing right now? Here's how I'm training hospitality, and it's not working. What's under the surface? What can I start training my staff to understand hospitality truly? And one way I'll model unconditional hospitality this week. How am I going to model? How am I going to lead by example with unconditional hospitality? What am I going to do as a leader, as an owner, to model, to lead by example with unconditional hospitality? And a standard I will raise in my culture starting today. What's one standard I'm going to raise in the culture that I know is slacking, and I'm letting it slack, that I'm going to raise today, and I'm going to keep it up no matter what? Don't skip on it. Don't sleep on this. This is why you're here. This is why you're dedicating your precious time, is to get these things done. If anybody tells me I have hospitality dialed in, see me after class. I'm looking to hire. I want to show you the hospitality matrix that we came up with, and this we use a 30% rule. First of all, you want to start with standards through adversity. You want to teach your staff to have standards through adversity. Does anybody here have high standards for themselves? Raise your hand. All right, guys, if you have high standards, keep them, right? And I guarantee you, when I walk in and I'm talking to a restaurant and there's a bunch of servers and bartenders and hostess, I go, does everyone have high standards? Who has high standards? Oh, everyone's like, yeah, I have high standards. And I go, okay, now one thing I can tell you when I'm in the restaurant, I say, I guarantee you're looking around and you're pointing out people in your head saying, that person does not have high standards. That person should not be raising their hands, because everyone wants to have high standards. Everyone thinks they have high standards, but they do mental gymnastics. High standards are easy to keep when things are easy. Right? You walk into work, it's an easy day, you get a $1,000 tip, your manager's being super nice. Oh, my standards are over here. I'm going to do whatever you want. But when it's hard, when you come in, short-staffed, difficult guest, manager's on top of you, you're sick, whatever it is, that's when it becomes difficult. That's when you start lowering your standards. Those who can keep their standards up through adversity are the true people that have high standards. Those who say it's so freaking difficult, but I am not skipping a step, I'm not skipping a beat, I'm not cutting a corner, those are the people with high standards. We want to teach our staff that. Do you have high standards? Can you hold them up through adversity? We want to talk about the basics, right? Here's the basics of hospitality. Here's the pieces, the little tiny things here and there that you can do. Simple stuff, smiling, eye contact, right? Communication, tonality, body language. All of that stuff is simple, basic stuff of hospitality that we can teach. Connections. We use a 3-step method of how to connect with the guest, right? But those are important too. How do you connect with the guest, right? Instead of being an order taker, how do you find out and learn a little bit more about them? There's a saying which I totally agree with. The quality of your life comes down to the quality of your questions. And I agree with that 100%. We have to be asking our guests questions. We have to find out more about them, see what makes them tick. Because if you can do that, A, you build loyalty, B, you're going to know how to sell them better, right? I can upsell to someone way better at a table if I know what they like, if I know what they're into, why they're here, what their mood is. I can do, with all that information, now I can truly upsell to them. So that's really important. And then getting wins. Wins is exceeding the guest expectations when they least expect it. If your significant other gets you a birthday gift on your birthday, are you happy? So you'd be happy if your significant other got you a birthday gift on your birthday, yes? Okay, so what if you had a really hard week and it's Wednesday and you're coming home and you're just freaking defeated. You want to curl up into a ball and you get home and your significant other pushes a gift across the table and says, I know you're having a really hard week and I just wanted to get you this to let you know that everything's okay and I love you. Would you guys appreciate that?
Yes, sir.
Would you guys appreciate that more than your birthday gift?
Yes, sir.
Would you appreciate it more even if the birthday gift was more expensive? Yep. Would you guys really appreciate it more? Why? It means more. There's more thought behind it. You're expecting a gift on your birthday. Thank you. That was very nice of you, but you better give me a freaking gift on my birthday, right? I'm expecting it. But when you do something out of the kindness of your heart to go above and beyond for someone without them getting anything back unconditionally, it has a huge, huge impact. Way bigger than something you're expecting. So that's why we want to exceed expectations when they least expect it. That's where we get creative and clever. And then lastly, unconditional, like I've been talking about. We want to get them unconditionally hospitable. And the way that works is you're going to install it like this. Onboarding process, we talk about standards through adversity. We set the expectations. Here's what we're expecting from you. Orientation, we can teach them the basics. That's easy, right? Hey guys, smile, eye contact, body language, tonality. We work with the processes and the systems and the training to show you how to do that. The training process, we're actually going to show you how to make connections with guests. We're going to show you, lead by example, a simple 3-step process to connect with any guest. Well, I'm shy. Well, I don't have that personality. I'm not outgoing. No problem at all. Do these 3 steps, you're going to connect with the guest, almost guaranteed. It's going to be hard not to connect with guests. And then ongoing training. How do we do ongoing training? What's our secret weapon? Pre-shifts, daily masterminds. That's our secret weapon. Ongoing training, we're going to show them how to get wins. And we're going to make sure they get wins. And we're going to motivate them to get wins. We're going to make it part of the culture. And then unconditional hospitality, we lead by example. We talk about it all the time, but we actually do it. We lead. They go, man, you ever work with someone where you're like, why are they always in such a good mood? And you're like, what the hell? What is their secret? They're always in a freaking good mood. They're always happy. They're always nice. So, and it's infectious, right? I want to work around with that person. I want to work around more. I'm more motivated. I'm in a better mood when I'm around them. We have to do the same thing, unconditional hospitality. And then we use accountability to continuously reinforce and reinstate. Reinforce and reinstate. We use accountability. If they start not doing these things, start choosing not to do them after we've systematized them and asked them not to do it, then there's going to be a problem. If they know there's accountability, they're going to do it. If they're not willing to do it, then I don't know if I want them working in my restaurant. If you're not willing to go above and beyond for the guests, and we gave you all the tools to do it, we've given you all the support to do it, and you're just choosing not to do it, I don't know if I want you working in my restaurant. I don't think it's a good fit, and I don't think it's good for either one of us, right? You're going to be going against the grain here the whole time. Remember, A players don't want to work with C players. We got to get that C player out of here.